So before we get started, let me just wait couple more minutes. Who's completely new to here? Put your hand up if you're completely new to this lunch. Okay, that's lovely. This is a lunchtime that I run every Wednesday, 12:30 till 1:15. And it's free. And this is really to introduce NLP, neuro-linguistic programming skills to use for business and coaching. So sometimes we have people here that are NLP trained, but it doesn't matter whether you're NLP trained or not. This is really to introduce all the different ways that we can use this. So we've just got Tom coming on. We'll just get Tom on, and then, yeah, we've got the recording, and then I'll just get started. So the layout of what we're going to do. Hi, Olivia. Nice to see you. So the whole structure of this is just we do a quick wee chat to start with, and then I go into one topic for the particular lunch. Today it's the power of expectations. We'll then put you in a breakout room for about 8 to 10 minutes. I know that it's never long enough, but that's okay. It's just a little quick networking. Now, I already know we have collaborations happening from this network already, where people have got in touch with other people, which is absolutely fantastic. This is for you just to get to know people in the community. And then I'll be telling you about ways that you can take advantage of a complimentary 45-minute strategy session with me to discuss how you want to go forward with either NLP for business training, or you would like me to talk about coaching you. But the strategy session is for you can work on your own stuff at that as well, but we'll let you know about that later. The power of expectations. I wanted to start doing a really quick introduction to NLP. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is a psychological approach that focuses on how language and communication can impact the human mind and behaviour. The neuro refers to the neurological process of the brain, how our senses, our sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, and nervous systems shape our experiences and how we have our internal representations of the world. The linguistic refers to language, how we use it to communicate with others and ourselves, and how we use language how the way we use language influences our thoughts, emotions, and actions. And then we have the programming, refers to the patterns of behaviour and the thoughts we develop based on our experiences and the way we process information. So NLP explores the connection between our thoughts, feelings, belief, and actions. Making changes in these aspects often leads to improvements in various areas of life and business, including professional development, communication, and problem solving. In business and coaching, having the NLP skills to change mindset and language often positively impacts on behaviour, resulting in outstanding results. I've been working with NLP for business for over 30 years. And for me, it is one of the most incredible ways to learn all about behaviour and how you can actually shape and influence the behaviour of the people that you work with and coach. Every week we pick something, and these topics are general business topics, but when we bring them with an NLP focus, you can see how powerful this becomes. So one of the things that we know is your brain is compelled to respond to anything you ask it. I'll just say that again. Write that down if you don't already know that. Your brain is compelled to respond to anything you ask it. And all behaviour comes from a thought. We know that through neuroscience. When I started working in this area, that was all theoretical. We now know that all our behaviour comes from a thought. All your actions are guided by your expected outcomes, whether we are conscious of this or not. So you could be unconsciously expecting something. In other words, you don't have conscious awareness of something, and that is guiding that. In this session, we'll explore how expectations and beliefs that are shaping your career, well-being, and life path in a profound way, and how learning to reset. So when you reset your expectation, this has a remarkable effect in your life. So we have got the Pygmalion effect. Put your hand up if anyone knows it. Have you heard about the Pygmalion effect? It describes the positive effect other people's expectations have on a person's performance. What we think, act, and perceive and achieve can be positively influenced by other people's expectations of us. This is why coaching works so well for business. Because if you've got someone who absolutely believes in you, this is also why if you've got a good leader or manager, who expects you to do well and is really championing you, telling you they've got that expectation in you, it influences your behavior. So what I find really powerful about expectations, not just your expectations of what you do, our brain actually is influenced by other people's expectations of us. Now, we know we can never have a yin without a yang. So there's the Golem effect. It's the opposite of the Pygmalion effect. It is the psychological phenomenon whereby lower expectations of someone can lead them to performing worse. Now, I'm going to be telling you a little bit of this book. I've got the original one, so the cover's changed on it. The Expectation Effect by David Robson. So that's the expectation effect. What I love about this book is that the back, it's got loads and loads of scientific references as to all the experiments that have been done regarding expectation. There was a study that was done with teachers. They've told the teacher couldn't turn up for these particular students, and these students were not the brightest students, to be very PC about this. They weren't the brightest of students. And guess what? They didn't get that many good results with them. Other teachers were told at a later stage with the same group of children that these were highly gifted children. And the teachers got incredible results with these children. So that's why I love this book. There's loads of scientific research that actually shows that this is not woo stuff. Once upon a time, NLP and how we're working brain used to be thought of woo stuff. It's not. This is the psychological edge for business. So motivation goal setting, high expectations can act as powerful motivators, whether it's your own expectation or the expectation of the team or the people you work with. When you have ambitious expectations for yourself and your work, you're more likely to set challenging goals and strive to achieve them. This is why when we're working in coaching, we'll often ask people who are setting goals, what's the point of setting the goal? What's the purpose of setting that goal? Now, it could be to buy a house. It could be, in my case, years and years ago, to pay my debts. Then it came to get a new kitchen, get a new bathroom. So it was these expectations that these things will happen as a result of getting this. So when you're coaching people, getting people's expectations is absolutely key in helping them get motivated. Self-fulfilling prophecy is a psychological phenomenon where believing something will happen makes it more likely to occur. But we've also got the opposite. Believing something won't happen will make it much more likely to occur. If you have positive expectation about your abilities and potential at work, you may act in ways that reinforce these beliefs, leading to improved performance. We know that the people who do very well in business have an expectation to do well. They expect to get promoted. They expect to develop themselves. They expect to be running a team. So their behavior displays that confidence. So it's almost stepping into that state before it actually happens. And then you've got the assertiveness. Confidence is having high expectations can boost your self-confidence and assertiveness. Confident individuals tend to take on more responsibilities, showcase their skills, and take calculated risks, all of which can contribute to success in the workplace. When someone is confident, very often they'll expect to make mistakes. All successful people expect to make mistakes. They don't expect things to go right 100% of the time. Lots of people in business who are not confident are terrified about making mistakes. So even that expectation of being confident enough to put up your hand and maybe be wrong or make a mistake, because they're expecting, I'm never going to be right all the time, that creates this incredible state that other people start looking up to. So what we're really looking today is we're looking at the mindset. What are the different mindsets that expectation can produce? And then resilience and perseverance. Positive expectations can improve your resilience and ability to bounce back from setbacks. If you absolutely expect, if something really horrible happens, let's just talk about the pandemic. Who knows the people that are still walking about with face masks, terrified to get near people? A lot of these people will never come out of that state. They will live the rest of their life expecting to catch diseases and things from other people. So they're living in this expectation of fear. Look at the people who've chucked away the masks as soon as they were allowed to do and just expect to keep healthy. And we know that an expectation of keeping healthy actually boosts your immune system. This is a tiny little, this is just a little touch of expectations. But when you go into the medical side of expectations, I broke my wrist really badly last year. I expected it to heal. I know loads of people my age who, once they break something, that's it. They're going to have, oh, I'm always, people talk about an injury that's causing them problems that happened 10, 15 years ago. I expected full recovery. I was told I would get 20% movement in my hand. And I remember going, la, 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 no, I'm not. Your expectation for your own recovery on something is absolutely huge. If anyone's got any questions, you can either just jump onto the microphone or anything else you'd like to share. There'll be a bit of question and answer in a moment, or just drop it into the chat, and Annette, you can let me know if anything comes into the chat. When faced with challenges, individuals with high expectations are more likely to persevere and find solutions rather than give up. Who's ever had a bad day and then you spill a cup of coffee? See, everything's going wrong today. Everything going wrong today is an expectation that everything is going to go wrong. So therefore, you'll spill coffee, your computer won't work, something else will happen, you'll trip. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm having a bad day, rather than saying, oh, I ran a little bit late this morning. Okay, so you can bring that expectation into everything you're doing. And then when we start to go to performance and productivity, and all these key points that I'm bringing out to you all relate to business and coaching. High expectations can drive improved performance and productivity. When you expect to achieve excellent results, you're more likely to put in the necessary effort and concentrate to excel your tasks and responsibilities. I come from a sales background of 25 years. Nobody succeeds in sales by not working. And you'll hear people say, the harder I work, the luckier I get. I love that expression. The harder I work, the luckier I get. With 25 years experience in sales, plus coaching hundreds of people in sales positions, I know that when one puts in the effort, the result normally happens. And very often, especially in sales, you see this in quite a magical way. All of a sudden, you can get an inquiry based on nothing that you've actually done yourself. You've not been talking to that person, but out of the blue, something comes in that helps you get that target because the expectation was there. And we're bringing this into, you're hearing a lot of people in the social media talk about manifesting. That's all they're doing. They're just expecting, they're playing with expectations, but really believing it. And living that doesn't work for everyone. It's something you've got to be careful about. But it's a phrase that's getting bandied around a lot. Yes, I just manifest my success. A lot of people don't talk about hard work they put in to get their success. Then interactions and relationships. Expectations also influence how we interact with others. Take a sales scenario, or let's change that to a business scenario. Someone gets promoted to a manager and they get told, that's a really tough team you've inherited. What can that do to that person's mindset? When I worked in sales and someone said to me, oh, that's a really difficult customer, I used to say in my head, according to whom? They're not going to be difficult for me. Okay, so sometimes we are influenced by other people's expectations of what's happened. If you have positive expectations about your colleagues and teamwork, you're likely to engage in a more productive and collaborative relationships, which can enhance overall working success. So going into a new job, expecting to build good relationships. Going into something, if you're a coach and you're working with your clients, expecting your clients to get success. That's what separates really good, successful coaches from ones that are struggling. Because a good, successful coach actually expects their clients to be successful. And guess what happens? They've got a much higher chance because they're encouraging the motivation. Now, we've got to put a little disclaimer around this. It's essential to strike a balance with expectations. Unrealistically high expectations can lead to unnecessary pressure, stress, and potential burnout if not managed properly. So this is why when you're coaching someone, you have to do an ecology check. The ecology check is checking how that change that they're looking for is going to impact on their life, their work, their family, their relationship, their social life. Because if someone sets up an expectation to achieve something that's not possible to achieve, or it's going to cause a really negative impact, then that's going to cause a lot of problems. So we have to look at the difference between stretching someone and collapsing someone, and it's not a lot of difference. We know in a sales environment, sometimes you have to break targets down to a weekly target or a daily target to help something become much more achievable rather than focusing on the quarterly target. Setting challenging yet attainable goals is vital for maintaining a healthy and sustainable work environment. If you're expected to do things that are impossible to do, you will just switch off. Our expectations can also impact our perception of success. Sometimes, even when we achieve great results, if our expectations are overly ambitious, we might still feel dissatisfied. Managing our expectations realistically, celebrating incremental success is crucial for maintaining a positive outlook and long-term success. We get this in families. What was the expectation of how your life was going to go according to your parents? Have you achieved that for them? Or no? Or have you failed them miserably according to them? You can have this really successful life, but according to your parents' expectations. So sometimes we've got to split where the expectation's coming from. Okay. So let's just go into, we're going to put you into breakout rooms in a moment, but I want to give you this case study first. A study from Harvard University in 2007 found that when a group of hotel cleaners were told the amount of energy they exerted over a week by vacuuming floors, changing beds, or moving furniture easily hit the target for physical exercise recommended for good health and people that strive for the gym. 1 month later, the researchers found the fitness level of the cleaners had noticeably improved with significant changes in weight and blood pressure. The magic about this is the change in their expectations and the belief that brought about the measurable physiological changes, without any change in their lifestyle. And you can take a photograph, if you want to go and have a look at that, you can take a photograph of that link. So that's some of the things that we find with when we're looking at expectations. Incredible changes happen when the mindset changes. Annette, do you mind me sharing? Annette's healing at the moment. Annette had some surgery. We were just talking about it before we come on. And she's really delighted at the speed her body is healing, because we set up a really strong expectation that she would heal well, and that she would heal at the right pace for her body. So this is the book, The Expectation Effect. It's on, you can get that on Amazon. I believe if you get Prime, you can actually get the audiobook free, which is phenomenal. But How Mindset Can Transform Your Life. This is the latest cover that's on that, and it was a BBC Radio 4 book of the week. So we're going to put you into breakout rooms, and I want you to discuss what are your expectations around your career and success. What are others' expectations of you? Explore whose expectations you're living by. Now, we're only going to get about, let me see, time-wise, we've got 10, yeah, we could do 10 minutes. When did you create this expectation? Is this relevant to your life now or not? Sometimes we create expectations and they're not really relevant to who we are and what we're doing in our life now. Okay, so before we go into the breakout rooms, if we get any questions or anything someone like to share about expectations? Anne, yes. And Ken, I'll come to you in a moment. Anne?
Oh, can't resist sharing a good expectation.
Good.
So I really worked on my mindset for my holidays, because one of the big problems I've had for years is having a fear of snoring and people snoring around me. And I was going away to stay in some wonderfully luxurious dormitories, And yeah, I went with an expectation that actually I was going to be okay. And I really worked on that. And yes, I had earplugs and all sorts of other things using some NLP techniques, but it worked. And actually, I actually ended up not having the anxiety that I would normally feel every night before I went to bed. It was amazing.
That's
really,
fantastic.
really worked.
And isn't that lovely that just by changing your mindset about something, it was like,
Yeah, and it was one of your one-liners actually, Fiona, that helped me on that, because you put a little one-liner in there when I was talking about it before, and you just mentioned some people find that snoring is comforting.
Yes.
And that little suggestion, I took it and I worked with it. I really did.
Yes.
So that made a huge difference.
Fantastic. And that actually comes from, that was an experience I had with my dad. I used to really be comforted with the sound of my dad snoring, and especially towards the last year of his life. It told me he was still alive. When I was at his house, and as long as I heard him snoring, I used to wake up, he's snoring, it's okay. And it just comforted me and sent me straight back to sleep. So that's a little bit of a reframe. That's just reframing is one of the skills that we can do. Thank you for sharing that, Anne. Ken.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that as I'm listening to you talk about the power of expectations, I'm reminded of an analogy that I used to use when I was doing corporate language training, where people said, you know, this is going to go to hell, I can't do this. And I would say, if you play golf, you come to a big body of water and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to hit, the ball will not go in the water, the ball will not go in the water, the ball will not go in the water. And inevitably, it does. And that's why, it's because you're concentrating on the water.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
instead of saying
it's in the sentence, even saying it's not going to go in the water is in the sentence, which the brain goes, okay, that's where we're going.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I just always use that analogy and people would laugh, but they got it.
Yeah. And also, thank you for that. When I do my NLP business practitioner training, I get so much feedback from people that say this is really easy, especially people who've trained others someplace else before. And guess what expectations I'm setting throughout the whole training? This is really easy. This exercise is really easy. I use easy all the time throughout the training, and I talk about it. I don't hide it. I just set the expectations. It's easy. Okay, thank you for that. Let me open all the rooms. You've got 3 or 4 to a room. Okay, so let's get a couple of people feedback on what you got there. What did you get? What did you get from that session?
It was really interesting for myself, really, to look at the expectations and the goals that I set a couple of years ago to where I am now, and how my expectations are a little bit different, but I'm still being really successful in business.
Yeah.
How me setting expectations has made me think, but then with my team, it's them setting their own goals and objectives. So then they believe it, think it, that they're going to achieve it and they're going to hit it. So it's them setting their own goals as well.
Yeah. So what the expectation and the fact that you're expecting them to achieve, that's where you've got that huge push, a motivational push as a leader. When your leader expects you to, because you don't want to let your leader down. Someone expects something from you, you tend not to want to let them down. It gives you that little bit extra. Fantastic. Who else? Olivia, have you got anything that you got from that? Or anything you would like to you observed?
Yes, no, I did. But I think the expectation is hugely important. I know it from my own life. In my first job in sales, which I love, like yourself, Fiona, I love sales. But my boss said, 3 of us were told, you need to earn £12,000 in commission within 12 months. And I thought, oh my God, I've never done commission before. So I didn't look to the left or the right. It was just full steam ahead, straight full steam ahead. And I had doubled that by the end of the 12 months because he was expecting it. And I might be fired, but most of all, he was expecting it and I didn't want to let him down.
Yes. And there's something about a team dynamic that if everyone's expecting, we can't all, in a team, you can't all contribute to the same level depending your experience. But I know in sales, when I worked in Yellow Pages, I actually was expected to bring up the slack of the team sometimes.
Yeah.
And really it really helped me because it boosted my earnings incredibly, but it allowed people who were struggling a little bit still to be in a successful team, so that we had team targets and we had individual targets. So again, it's all the expectations, and I think it's something a lot of leaders and coaches don't tend to think about. They think about, oh, just set your goals. No, it's but what you're and also when we're talking about KPIs, or what I prefer to call job description. We get KPI. What is KPI? Key performance indicator. But when you say this is your job, so as part of your job, you're expected to do this. You're expected to do that. And when that's set out really clearly, it just helps people really understand, okay, that's what I'm being paid for. And I get amazed at the number of managers who don't actually link the tasks people have to do as part of their job as this is what we're actually paying you to do.
Yes.
But we
and
know
we're
it's
expecting you to do.
Yeah, this is what this is the expectation as part of your job. Okay.
It's really important.
It's fantastic. I'd love you to take advantage of this. I offer, and there's limited availability of these, a 1-to-1 45-minute complimentary strategy session to work on how NLP training or coaching can help you in your professional development. So I'll put in a moment, I'll just put that email into the chat box. This is an opportunity for you, maybe if you're thinking, I'm already trained in NLP, I want to train as a coach, or it could be you just want some help in business. So this strategy session, I do spend that time talking about how you can help yourself and help you get clear. But quite a lot of people who come on these, they actually go on to book some coaching with me or come on to the NLP training. We've also got the NLP Business Circle Club. If you're NLP trained, and this will all come out in the email. There's it's $45 a month instead of $90 a month. You get your first month free. The NLP Business Circle Club is for NLP professionals looking to upskill themselves in NLP for business and coaching. We have 2 tour masterclasses, live masterclasses every single month on the 2nd Tuesday and the 4th Thursday. Plus, members get access to all the archives right back to December 2020. So that's all the archives of the videos, the audios, and the workbooks. So it's an incredible library for you to use. And also we've got the Professional Growth Club. And the Professional Growth Club is a club that I've put together. We launched it 2 months ago. We're going to be doing an official launch. It's been a little bit of a soft launch. And it's my online membership club designed for ambitious entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders, aspiring leaders, sales professionals, and coaches. It's all self-learning courses. So the people that join this, they get access to my 6 training courses of the leader system. They get 1 additional course comes on every month. The one that's on this month right through till the end of August is the art of managing your time effectively. So what we've got with that is, and that only stays for a month, then that will come off at the end of August. Next one that's going up is the VAK communication model. I am sharing on this Professional Growth Club all my corporate trainings. These are basically all the corporate trainings. Now, as you work through these, and there's a quiz with each of the courses, there's a 70% pass mark, and then once everything has been completed, you get sent a certificate of completion. So this is an incredible way for people to keep a record of how they're developing themselves. That is only $9 a month. Just put my email into the chat. So anyone who needs to talk to me about anything can do. And also I'll hang on here for about 10-15 minutes because I know some people like to talk at the end of this. So if we get any comments or anything before we finish up, I know this is short and sharp, but I hope you've taken things away. So just maybe get 2 people say, how are you going to implement what you've learned today? Let's get a couple of people just say how they're going to implement what they've learned or what they've been reminded about. Thank you, Sophia.
Yeah, I think that I have to look more into myself and see how much my self-talk is disturbing my success. Yeah, I can see that people outside of me, how I can ignore them and tell them that I can win no matter what. I have to go to myself.
Yes, your self-talk. Fantastic. And we'll just finish up the Ken.
Yeah, I just wanted to say very briefly, I just realized I have an upcoming workshop and how important it is to have these expectations set from the beginning. Yes. So that was a takeaway for me.
Yes. So it's set on what you want to achieve, how many people you expect. And it's just interesting. When you've got these expectations, it makes it more tangible. Now, the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination.
Yep.
And that's when we know, when you can set an expectation, bringing in all your senses, it's absolutely huge. Okay, so just give yourself a round of applause. Thank you very much. That's absolutely lovely. Delighted you've all been here. Sending you details of next week's event, and hopefully see you there, and let people know about this. Please pass on the details and invite people to come along, because it is free and it gives you a chance to meet lots of different people. Okay, thank you very much.